Hi, everyone. Good to see all of you here today. Um, we're going to go ahead and get started, but as always, go ahead and make yourself comfortable. We'll start with a meditation, which you can do seated or standing or walking around, however your body likes to meditate. We'll move to a chair flow for the next 15 minutes or so. And then after that, we'll do our standing yoga flow on our mat. So make sure if you haven't yet, go ahead and get all of your supplies to get ready for that. And when you're ready, you can come and sit and listen for a moment as we meditate and drop into this space today. Since we have some new people here, my name is Kelsey, and I'm a therapist in Washington State. I'm also a yoga teacher, and so I do this practice to break up my work week and include and invite you in breaking up your work week to bring together some mental health tools and yoga practice. So it's not therapy, it's more of a movement practice. And everything in this class is an offering and an invitation so you can follow along if it feels good for your body. If it's too tricky, you can, I'll offer some modifications so that you can access it at the level that works best for your body. We keep the screens off here so that you can practice in peace without fear of being watched or looked at. So it's just your body, your practice, your movement. You can always catch the recording on the YouTube channel of Meets Therapy. And we'll just go ahead and get started for the day. If you haven't already, take your shoes off to build some proprioception as you wiggle your feet on the floor. Let's start with a few breaths. So whether you're standing or laying down for this meditation, go ahead and just let all of the air out of your lungs. Let everything go. Exhale as much as possible. Inhale through your nose, filling up your belly and your lungs. Exhale everything out of your mouth. We'll do that a few more times. Inhaling through your nose. Exhaling through your mouth. Inhaling through your nose. This time, shrugging your shoulders up, maybe scrunching your face, creating a little bit of tension as you inhale. Exhale, release the muscles in your face, release the muscles in your shoulders, and relax a little bit. Go ahead and continue this breathing in through your nose, out through your mouth, as you begin to build some awareness of your body in space. Feel the weight of your body on the floor, sitting or standing or laying down. Feel the gentle pressure of the earth rising up to meet your body. And bring to mind a small little token of gratitude, something that's easy in this moment to be grateful for. It might be a memory, might be a sensation, might be something you're looking forward to, or a connection in your life. Allow your mind to focus on this bit of gratitude as you continue to breathe. And the invitation here is to see if you can find a space in your body where you feel that gratitude. So scanning your body from your head to your shoulders, to your chest and belly, down your arms, your hips, your legs, Where is it that you notice a different sensation that you equate with gratitude? And when you find that spot, you can go ahead and place a hand there. Sorry for the random emojis. Sometimes when it looks like I'm doing a thumbs up, you'll see the Zoom emojis pop up. As you're holding this spot in your body where you're locking in this sensation of gratitude, we're going to practice a mental health tool called pendulation. So we'll be bringing up a stressor in our life, something on a scale from 0 to 10, we're maybe at about a 3 or a 4, something gentle, but still a little concerning. So bring that stressor to your mind. And notice how it shifts your experience. And we're going to practice shifting our perspective of this stressor by bringing in some gratitude. So allowing the spot that you're holding, allowing that sensation to begin to grow and seep out from under your hand and meet the places in your body where you're holding this other stress. You can even practice sliding your hand along your body to meet the space where you're holding that stress. And practice bringing gratitude to that space. Asking yourself, what is one thing in the midst of this stressor that I can still be grateful for? Maybe the stressor shifts a little bit. Maybe it makes space for a little bit more gratitude to come through. Just accepting whatever shift or not shift is happening. And finally, releasing this pendulation, releasing, combining the stressor and the gratitude, and returning just to your breath, breathing into your belly and your lungs. Exhaling, sighing everything out. Breathing into your belly and lungs. Exhaling, sighing everything out. One more time, biggest breath you've had all day. And exhaling, sighing everything out. If your gaze was soft, you can bring in some focus. If your eyes were closed, you can flutter your eyelids open. We're going to move into our seated flow for today and do a little bit of warm-ups, focusing on perspective and shifting our perspective with gratitude for today. So if you were seated on the floor, you can stay there. If you were standing, maybe come to a chair or a seat on your mat. And we'll move through a little warm-up flow that you can do at your desk. In your seat here, let's inhale, raising our arms up overhead, palms facing each other. Exhaling, bringing your palms close together down your midline, heart center, tucking your chin and rounding your spine forward. Inhaling, reaching both hands up. This time we're going to bend at the elbows, draw our shoulder blades together, chin towards the sky, opening through your chest. Moving through this a few times, inhaling to reach up, exhaling, drawing your hands together down the center of your midline, rolling your spine forward into our little ball here. Inhaling again to reach up. This time, exhaling, widening your arms 90 degrees, cactusing those elbows out to the side, chin to the sky. Inhale to reach up. Exhale, drawing that midline down, down, down. One more time, reaching up. Exhaling, arms out to the side. And releasing your hands down to the side. Let's inhale our right hand up and over, reaching towards the left side, looking up through our right elbow. Taking a few breaths here to open into the right side of your body, making sure you're not concaving down in, but rounding that shoulder blade up and back as you look up. Exhaling, releasing that hand down to the right side. Let's inhale. This time our left hand up. Gaze is going to follow, rotating that left shoulder back. Breathing into your lower left ribs. And exhaling that down. Let's move through this a few more times. Inhaling to the right. Exhaling to release. Inhaling opposite side. Exhaling, release. Repeating with your own breath, your own flow here. And the opposite side. Let's inhale both our arms up, palms facing each other, hinge at the hips, arms reaching out and up at a 45-degree angle until your hips don't bend anymore. And then go ahead and send your hands down towards your feet or towards your knees. Inhale to roll your spine back up, vertebrae by vertebrae, letting the crown of your head be the last thing that reaches up towards the sky. Go ahead and cross your right hand over your left knee. Begin to swing your left hand back to the back of your chair or behind you on the mat as you enter a gentle twist looking over your left shoulder. Exhaling, untwisting, switching sides here. Left hand to your right knee. Right hand is going to reach back behind your chair or on the mat behind you. Gaze is over your right shoulder. Press into your left hand with your right knee. And untwisting, passing back through neutral here. Let's inhale our arms high one more time, palm together. Make your hands into little fists and begin to roll your ankles as you widen your arms, sending them down and out to the side. Inhaling our arms up yet again. This time, as our arms reach the top, we're going to bend our elbows out to the side, reaching towards our shoulders, and move through some shoulder rolls, sending our elbows down, back, up, and around forward. In my yoga practice, I like to warm up the joints before we enter a yoga practice to help the body transition from being still, sitting at our desks, to being in a full moving flow to prevent some injury. Let's circle our shoulders in the opposite directions here. sending them first forward, then up and back. As always, during the whole flow, but especially during warm up, listen to your body and the pace you want to be going. Stretch your arms out wide to the side. We're going to exhale, send them across, reaching left arm over top, grabbing onto opposite shoulders, and give yourself a gentle rock here. Find some stillness, reach your chin to the sky. Exhale, tuck your chin to the chest, round down, breathing in between your shoulder blades into the back heart space there. Coming up, releasing that pose. Let's work on our legs a little bit. Go ahead and stick your left leg out in front of you. If you're on the mat, you can pull your right leg up closer that it looks a little bit like this. But if you're on a chair here, go ahead and bring that left foot up, pointing your left toe, flexing your left toe, pulling those towards your chest, warming up your ankle, engaging your thigh muscle to hold your leg here. And go ahead and bring that left ankle over top of your right knee and begin moving through some ankle rolls. Again, just waking up our body here, being prepared to do more movement. Pause on the ankle rolls. Inhale your arms up high. We're going to do just like we did earlier, a forward fold. First, reaching, hinging at the hips. When our hips don't go anymore, then we send our arms down, rounding through our spine to fold over our left leg. Let your head hang, let your arms hang. Engage your right foot to support you. You can place your hands on your legs if that helps give you more stability. Inhaling back up to center and switching to the opposite leg here, engaging your right thigh, flexing your right toes towards your chest, and then pointing them. Waking up your right leg, and then bending in the right leg here to bring it over top of your left knee as you begin some ankle rolls, switching directions as needed, listening to your body to figure out how fast or how slow you want to be going here. And coming to some form of stillness or pause as you inhale your arms up, palms together, hinge at the hips, reaching forward, exhaling to release those arms down, head down, shoulders down. Again, you can use your hands on your folded leg to help support you. Rolling your spine up to come back to a neutral place, chin parallel to the floor here, releasing your legs. Coming up to the edge of your seat. If you're on a chair, staying where you're at, if you're seated on your mat. For a lot of today's flow, we'll be doing some mild back bend exercises. So we'll go through a few of those and just talk about how you can engage your core to support your lower back. So in yoga, one of the common back bends we'll be doing is raising your hands, placing your palms together, clasping your palms together, or hands together up overhead, reaching up with your shoulders so that they touch your ears, and then rolling your shoulders down and back, starting the movement from rolling your shoulder blades back. Now, as you do this, your body may want to arch, What we want to do before we start any arch here is imagine a line pulling the bottom of our diaphragm and our lower belly together so that as we reach up and reach back, we're getting most of the arching in our upper back and our shoulder blades, but our lower back is supported by our core. Exhale, release your hands down. Inhale them up again. Exhale your arms to the side. Imagine the same thing. So instead of cactusing your arms to the side and flaring at your lower ribs, imagine your lower ribs connected to the muscles in your core, reaching those arms up, letting that flare come from opening your shoulder blades, opening your chest, contracting the muscles in your upper back and your core around your belly button. Exhaling those arms down. Another one we'll be doing today is sending our arms together behind us. If your arms don't reach behind you, you can reach back so that your palms are facing each other. Or if your fingers do interlace, you can interlace your fingers and then rotate your palms down facing the mat. In this one, same thing, engaging your core to protect your back as we do these movements. From here, you're going to press down with your hands towards the mat and then lift them up, whether or not your hands are connected, pressing down and lifting up, opening through the chest. All right, we're going to get started with our standing flow for today. Our theme this month has been gratitude. So we're still focused on gratitude, and today we're focusing on how gratitude can help shift our perspective. So we'll be doing a few upside down poses today to land in our body this idea of shifting perspective. Go ahead and put your chairs away if you need to, and come and take a seat in the middle of your mat here, facing the short side of one of your mats. Take a moment to find your center of gravity. Breathe into your belly and your chest. And then as you exhale, send your arms behind you. Again, if your hands don't touch, that's okay. You can keep your palms facing each other, or you can grab a strap or a rope. Sometimes I use the tie for my bathrobe to help bring my hands a little bit closer together. You can also interlace your fingers behind you, plant your palms down towards the ground, and reach up and back with your hands as you gaze forward, slightly lifting your chin to help open your collarbone, your chest, your heart. And exhaling, releasing that pose. We're going to inhale, sending our arms up. Exhale, sending our arms forward into a forward fold. Walking back to an upright position, passing through neutral, sending our arms behind us again, interlacing those fingers, reaching down and back, lifting our hands away from our body. Inhale to lengthen through the crown of your head. Exhale to hinge forward at your hips, sending your arms up towards the ceiling. Exhaling to release this pose, shaking out your hands, stretching your feet out in front of you in a pike position. Go ahead and point those toes away from you, then fold those toes close to your chest. Then let them rest in a neutral position as you inhale your arms up. Exhale, reach towards your toes in a forward fold here. Using your hands to walk you back up to a neutral position. We're going to send our arms back. Again, you can interlace your hands if they touch. If not, here's an example of how to do it. Reaching down, up, finding length through the crown of your head and your spine before hinging at the hips, sending your arms up towards the ceiling. Exhaling back to a neutral spine. Plant your hands down on the mat next to your hips, then walk them back a few feet, maybe about a foot, few inches. You can choose to point your hands towards your sit bones or away from your body, both work. Whatever's more comfortable for your wrists. We normally do plank pose, like a push-up position with our belly towards the mat. Today, for shifting perspective, we're going to do it the opposite way. So begin to engage your core, squeeze your glutes together, toes together, knees together as you lift your hips, sending your head back, gazing towards the ceiling in an upside down plank. Remembering to engage the bottom of your ribs with the muscles around your belly button. And exhale, sink your glutes back down to the mat. Reset. Lifting your heels up off the mat, pulling your toes towards your chest, hands down towards the mat. And exhaling. We're gonna scooch our hips forward, bending our knees, planting the palms of our feet on the mat, rolling our spine down on the mat to a laying position with our knees lifted. Now for this pose, this posture, you can do a couple different variations. The variation A here is to lift your right foot up, point your heel towards the ceiling, leg straight, toes towards your head, and focus on breathing into your lower belly. Exhale, releasing this leg down. Inhaling, lifting your left foot, heel towards the ceiling, toes towards your forehead, breathing into your lower belly. And then releasing that back down to the mat. Walking your feet together, send your hips to the side, coming into an supine butterfly position. Again, here your intentional practice can be to breathe into your belly button. And the invitation for variation A, bringing your knees together up at the top, making little mountains with your legs, is to continue that flow. Option 2, if you're wanting to build some more strength, you're going to engage your core, lift your hips, creating a long line between your shoulders and your knees. Moving through the same flow here, but place your hands on the mat to support you. Inhaling, lifting your right leg up, heel to the ceiling, toes towards your forehead. Exhaling, putting that right foot back down on the mat, hips still lifted. Inhaling, lifting up that left leg, heel towards the ceiling, toes towards your forehead. Exhaling, putting that left foot back down on the mat, rolling down to the mat through your spine, starting in between your shoulder blades, your lower ribs, your middle back, your lower back, your tailbone and sacrum. Walking your feet together and letting your knees fall out to the side. Taking a moment to breathe into your lower belly. We'll do this variation one more time. Stacking your knees like little mountains. Lifting your hips. Inhaling to lift your right leg. Exhaling to plant it down on the mat. Inhaling to lift your left leg. Exhaling to plant it down on the mat. Rolling through your upper spine, middle spine, lower spine, releasing your sacrum down onto the mat. Walking your feet together, letting your knees fall to the side. Hands on your belly button, breathing into your belly. Bringing your knees back towards the ceiling. We're gonna sit up, scooch to the back of our mat, and come into lightning bolt seat. So planting our hips on our heels. If this pose is a little bit tricky for you, you can always grab a pillow to sit on. Another option, since we will be on our knees a little bit, is to roll the back of your yoga mat to create a little bit of extra padding here for your knees. Moving through a Shakti flow. Inhale your arms up. Exhale, hinge at the hips, walk your hands forward to come into child's pose. Let your hands, forearms, elbows, forehead fully release, relax onto the mat here. Breathe into the back of your heart space. And as you exhale, shift your weight forward, passing through tabletop, letting your hips sink down to the mat as your upper body opens, squeezing your shoulder blades behind you, squeezing your glutes together to support your low back, lifting your chin to the sky in up dog. Tuck your toes underneath. Send your hips back and up to the sky as we come into a downward dog for the day. With downward dog, we're pressing into the earth with the palms of our hands, lifting up from our heels, hips to the sky, bending in the knees if you're rounding in your low back a little bit, sending your shoulders down to the mat. Exhale, let's bend in the knees, send our knees back down to the mat. Untuck those toes in tabletop here. We're gonna inhale, lift our chin to the sky, belly button down towards the mat. Exhaling, rounding our belly button towards our spine, chin to our chest. Inhale to come back to a neutral spine, neutral tabletop position. Then exhaling to send our hips back on, over our heels in child's pose. We'll move through this Shakti flow a few more times here. Listening to your body if you just need to stay in child's pose. To soak up the gratitude, you can do that. Or joining us all together as we inhale, shifting our weight forward, sinking our hips down to the mat, chin to the sky. Tucking your toes as we exhale, lifting our hips to the sky in downward dog. Take an inhale here to reset, then exhale, lowering your knees back down to the mat. Inhaling for cow. Exhaling for cat pose. Inhaling to a neutral spine. And exhaling back into child's pose. One more time at your own flow, your own pace here. Starting by shifting your weight forward for up dog. Meeting all together in your own time, down in child's pose. Using your hands to walk towards your knees to bring you back to a seated position. If your mat was rolled up, go ahead and unroll it here. And come to standing. Whoop, knocking a light over here. Come to standing at the top of the mat. All right, everyone looks like they're doing great. Let's inhale our arms high. Exhale into a forward fold. Grab onto opposite elbows. Let your head hang, maybe rock side to side. Release your grip on your elbows. Slide your hands up your shins for a halfway lift. Straightening into a flat back here. Exhaling, bending in the knees until your hands can meet on the mat right in front of your toes. Send your right hand directly below the center of your chest. Bend a little bit more in your right knee as you send your left hand up to the sky. Gaze is going to follow, opening to the left side here. Exhaling, dropping that hand back down. Inhaling, this time bending in the left knee, opening to the right side. And exhaling back down to center. Let your spine roll up, vertebrae by vertebrae. Again, letting your crown of your head be the last thing that comes up. And resetting in mountain pose. Hips stacked above feet, shoulders above hips, palms facing forward. Let's inhale, raise our arms up, practice that back bend, clasping your hands together, reaching up, rolling your shoulders down and back, engaging your core here. Then exhaling into a forward fold, bending in the knees, planting your hands on the mat in front of your feet, walking your feet back into our downward dog. Here, we're going to shift our weight to the left side, grounding down through both of your feet and your left hand. Begin to pick up your right hand and send it underneath your core over to the left side, grabbing onto your left ankle if it reaches, or your left knee, or just somewhere reaching in that direction. Exhaling, sending that right hand back up to the front of your mat. Inhaling, this time lifting your right leg, grounding down through both of your hands and your left foot, creating a long line between your right hand and your right foot in our three-legged downward dog. Still sending your shoulders into the mat. As you exhale, send your right foot up towards your hands in a lunge. You can do your lunge with your knee down or your knee lifted. And we're going to rise up our upper body into a crescent lunge. Again, variation 1 has your knee down on the mat. Variation 2 has your knee lifted. All right, exhaling your arms down. If you were in a lunge here, go ahead and lift that back knee. Shift your weight to send your toes towards the long side of your mat. We're coming into warrior 2 here. Reaching in opposite directions, gaze over your right hand. Let's exhale, send our right hand up and over towards the back. Bring our back hand down to our low back. If your legs get tired, you can always straighten that front leg. If you want more challenge, bend a little bit more here. Release both your hands down to your side, practicing on one of our back bends. Go ahead and send your hands together behind you, or palms reaching towards each other. Hinge at the hips, bending forward, sending your hands up towards the ceiling behind you as your head goes down toward the mat in our humble warrior pose. Exhaling, releasing your hands, planting them on your front leg to begin to shift your weight forward, hopping that left leg back up to the front. Let's roll up and repeat on the opposite side. Starting again in mountain pose, checking that your toes are pointed in the same direction, hips stacked over ankles, shoulders over hips, palms facing forward. Inhaling your arms up, clasping those hands together, reaching up with your shoulders, then rolling them down and back. Exhaling into a forward fold. Bending in the knees until your hands reach the mat, walking your feet backward into downward dog. Shifting our perspective here in downward dog as we shift our weight. This time sending our weight into our right hand, still grounding through both of our feet, beginning to pick up our left fingers and sending our left hand down towards our right ankle. Maybe it reaches all the way, maybe it doesn't. This is your body, your practice. Exhaling, putting that left hand back up towards the front. Grounding an equal weight on both of your hands, shifting your weight to your right foot as you send your left foot back up towards the sky, creating that long line between your left hand and left foot. Exhaling, returning to our lunge. Again, you can do this with your leg lifted or lowered. I'll just demonstrate it lowered since I demonstrated it lifted last time. Inhaling those arms up high. Exhaling those hands down to your knee. Now lifting your back leg, dropping that heel down, turning to face the long side of your mat, reaching out in your arms, opposite directions, left hand forward in warrior two. Bend in the front knee to deepen this, straighten in the front knee to add a little bit of ease to your practice. Send that left hand up and over, right hand down to your low back. Gaze up through your left forearm. And release your hands down to your side. Send them together behind your back. If they don't reach, palms facing each other. Hinging at the hips, folding forward, sending your arms up towards the ceiling as your head goes down towards the mat. And exhaling, we're going to release our hands to our knee and help ourselves hop, skip, find our way back up to mountain pose at the top of our mat. From here, let's swing our left leg back to come into a wide stance facing the long side of our mat. Send your toes out at a 45-degree angle from your heels. Begin to add a little bit of bend in your knees, not too much, just to protect your knees. Inhale your arms up. Exhale, reach your arms wide to the side As you hinge forward with your hips, flat back coming all the way down into a wide-legged forward fold. When your hips don't go anymore, you can release your hands down to the mat. Inhale to halfway lift. Exhale to drop down again, and this time walk your hands over towards the left side. Let your right hand stay planted on the mat as you inhale your left hand up. Gaze follows that left hand up towards the ceiling. And exhaling it all the way back down. Walk your fingers to the center. Inhale to halfway lift, resetting. Exhale to come all the way down and walk your hands this time over to the right side. Left hand is going to stay on the mat as you lift your right hand up towards the ceiling. Gaze follows. And exhaling everything back down to the mat, to the center. And this time we're going to bend in our knees to send our hips down. Can always pause in the little yogi squat here, but we're going to come to a seat on our mat. This next little sequence involves a shoulder stand, which might be tricky, but I'll let you know how you can accommodate for it. Rolling down on your back, heels close to your sits bones, knees stacked up towards the ceiling like little mountains. Variation A is going to be a repeat of the variation that we did earlier today, where your hands are on your low belly, inhaling your right leg up, heel towards the ceiling, toes towards your forehead. Exhaling it back down. Inhaling your left leg up. Exhaling it back down. Inhaling your knees out to the side. And exhaling knees back up like little mountains. And you can practice that flow with your own breath. If you'd like to attempt a shoulder stand, there's a couple ways to get into it. You can begin by picking up your knees so that they're closer to your chest, planting your hands down on the mat by your side, and practice just rocking your hips up to begin to shift your weight. Again, here, shifting your perspective. With this variation, you can also try straightening your right leg and lowering, straightening your left leg and lowering, and straightening both legs and lowering back down. That's variation B. And our third variation is a full shoulder stand where you rock your hips up. Send your hands below your sacrum to support you. And then straightening your legs towards the ceiling. Again, the way that I get into that, you can even have your hands ready to catch your hips, rocking your hips up, having your hands on your sacrum to support you, then sending your feet up towards the ceiling. From here, you can exhale your right foot down, inhale it towards the sky, exhale your left foot down, inhale it towards the sky, and exhale both feet down overhead. If you were a part of our Halloween animal sequence, this is actually called snail pose. We didn't get to that one that day. And then inhale both feet up and roll your way back down. We'll take about another minute or so you can practice your shoulder stands, practice any variation of this flow, following your own breath at your own pace. Mm. All right. And while we're here today, take any last little movements your body wants to take. Maybe stretching one leg long, interlacing your fingers around your right knee, pulling it towards your chest, or the other side. When you're ready, find some stillness. For Shavasana today, as always, find the position that's most comfortable for your body, whether it's laying on your back with your palms towards the ceiling or your palms towards the earth, or laying on your side in fetal position, using your elbow as a little pillow here. Today, we've been focusing on perspective and different viewpoints and how gratitude can help us find new perspective in our life. So you're invited to practice that mental exercise today during Shavasana, or to let it all go, let your mind wander, let your eyes close and take a little nap. My voice will guide you when it's time to wake up from Shavasana and go about the rest of your day. Bringing some light into your eyes by fluttering your eyelids open, bringing some movement into your body by stretching or wiggling your fingers and your toes. If you were on your back, rolling to one side, planting your top hand on the mat to press up to help you come into a seated position. You can offer yourself a hug, a bow, some prayer hands, something to give yourself a little bit of gratitude for your practice today. I got some crazy hair going on today. It was really lovely to see all of you again, at least to see you on the screen, even if I can't see your video. Next week, I will still be doing a class at noon on Thanksgiving. It'll be for gratitude and also digestion and help us digest a lot of this yummy food we'll be eating next week. I hope you have a wonderful week, and I'll see you next week. Bye, everyone.